But in the last episode that we did, Paul took us on a tour of his office and showed us his collectibles. And he has all kinds of great, mostly Angels baseball stuff, but a lot of really different stuff, a lot of cool stuff. And one of the things that we saw in that little tour was his trophy for winning the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award. And by doing this show, we found out that we both, when we were in high school, we both won the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award. And
That's true. We both did.
Yeah, I think that is so cool. I'm always finding out new things about you through this show.
As am I about you, my friend.
I won something else when I was in high school, and I wonder if you have any experience with this. It's Who's Who in Music. Did you ever do Who's Who in Music? Was that part of your school?
No, it wasn't. I remember hearing about it. There were a lot of Who's Who things that were going on, and certainly I knew about Who's Who in Music, but it was not something that we dealt with where I went to school.
They went around the country and they asked band directors to nominate people for this book. They got thousands of people. I think this thing was the most clever racket ever to be foisted onto high school students and their parents and their grandparents. And I'm going to show you why. First of all, this wooden plaque, I'm sure we purchased this from the Who's Who people. But the little plaque is nothing. The book is the deal. Look at this book. The beautiful, and I remember them talking about this beautiful leather-bound book.
That's a large book.
It's a large book, and it's filled with tiny writing. Look at this tiny writing. Okay. And I got to tell you, every page in this book looks exactly the same. I mean, there is nothing special about any of us. We are just all listed. And here's mine right there. You see that?
Now, you're talking, this is small font, but how small is the font there?
Well, let's see. It's so small that without my glasses, I can only barely read it.
Really?
And it's got listed in here just the instruments that I play and the different accomplishments that I sent in at the time that I had done. You know, we'd marched in the Tournament of Roses parade. That was cool. I was the first alto in the jazz band, and also even I listed in here the rock band I played in. I mean, I listed so much stuff for them to write, and it's all in here, and it looks exactly like everybody else's listing. It's a book of listings. Okay, you get what I'm saying? It's simply a book of listings. It's nothing.
So what's the purpose of this thing then?
Exactly. And the purpose of it is in the letter.
Is that a letter to you?
That's a letter to my grandmother when she died, and I got all her, boxes of stuff, papers and stuff. This letter was in there, and I did not know that they had sent this letter to her when I was in high school. It's from the Who's Who in Music people. Okay?
Okay.
Now imagine my grandmother, any grandmother can stand in for my grandmother. Congratulations, your grandson has been selected for membership in the 1979 Who's Who in Music Honors Program. Okay, first of all, any grandma is going to read that and go, oh, my grandson or my granddaughter or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
This National Music Honors Program was conceived by the founders and sponsors of Who's Who in American University and Colleges, which over the past 44 years has become one of the greatest honors conferred to students by the American academic community. Listen to how powerful that wording is on a grandmother's ears.
Yes.
About her grandson. With increased emphasis on the arts as a career, it is most fitting that outstanding music students be recognized in their own awards volume. Your grandson will be receiving a personalized certificate in recognition of his selection to Who's Who in Music, and that's what that plaque was that I showed you. His complete biography, including his musical achievements, will appear in the 1979 edition of Who's Who in Music. It is indeed an honor for your grandson to be commended for his music accomplishments at this early stage in his life. So every time they say your grandson, I mean, her heart is just, oh, my grandson, my grandson. Okay, final paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Since your grandson will be honored in the 1979 edition of Who's Who in Music, you will probably want a copy for your own personal library. Only the number of copies reserved in advance will be printed. So we need for you to return the enclosed advanced reservation order card as soon as possible. There will be just one limited printing of the 1979 volume. You think about all those listings, right? Thousands and thousands of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And really, all we're doing is we're selling this book to parents and grandparents on each side. And here's the thing. Nobody reads the book. The only thing anyone ever reads is their own listing. I mean, this thing is 1,000 pages of people. That's not 1,000 pages. It's 650 pages.
Okay.
What a racket! I just think it was such a racket, and I'm really grateful that my parents fell for it. But do you see what I mean by a racket? I mean, all it is a listing that they sell to your parents and your grandparents and whoever else would buy it. When I graduated with a master's degree, I was offered an award that was very similar to this concept of Who's Who in Music, and what it was the Gould Key
Golden Key Honor Society.
Golden Key Honor Society,
of which I am also a member too, because I was courted by every single honor society out there.
In order to be in the club, you had to have, exceptional grades, which is easy when you're an adult. It's a lot easier than when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
But that wasn't all you needed. You also needed to send in $100. Right? And so I said to you, what do you think? Is it worth it? Is this the kind of thing that I should spend $100 on, or is this just another Who's Who in Music? Mm-hmm. And do you remember what you told me?
I do remember what I told you. It's a resume buffer.
Yeah. You said it adds to your resume. You ought to go for it. And so I did. I went for it. And you know what it entitled me to?
What did it entitle you to?
It entitled me to endless emails from the Golden Key Honor Society wanting to sell me all this other stuff. So there it is. I have now exposed the scheme that is Who's Who in Music. But decades later, I fell for it again, the same concept, thanks to you, because actually it does have some value. I mean, it gives you like bragging rights, little bragging rights. Hey, I'm a member of the Golden Key, Academic Honor Society.
Honor Society carries some gravitas to it, right?
But I could have said it without sending in the $99,